Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol and another hire car hit or miss. So today in the firing line we have the Nissan Juke. Love it or hate it, let's see how good it is, shall we? So, styling and aesthetics. Now this car is going to divide opinion. For me, it has looks only a mother could love, really. It's very funky and cool. It's just a bit too much for me. I'm not so sure about those kind of froggy headlights on the top. But I guess it kind of looks quite cool. It certainly looks cool when you get it in Nismo trim with the kind of contrasting colours on there. But yeah, it's an interesting car in terms of design, that's for sure. So I'm going to struggle to give it more than a 7 just because it's not my personal taste. But I do get why people like them. They are quite funky. Probably better to drive on the inside than look at from the outside. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. So from an equipment and tech point of view, this car is pretty highly spec really. We've got the normal sort of steering wheel mounted controls, but it's this center console I really like. So we've got sat-nav. Sat-nav's not too bad, to be honest, especially compared with some cars I've had recently. It was very easy to pair my phone. So I could pair my phone really quite simply and straightforward. But there's some quite cool features on here. So if we just click info, I've got a couple of things on here. One, my apps. So I'm able to basically pair my phone, download a Nissan app to my phone, and then you can do things like Facebook and go on to your sort of search through your phone. I guess you're effectively pairing your phone. We've also got my eco score. I don't know whether this is good or bad, probably bad because I've been driving this like a hire car, but I thought that was quite cool. I've got rear facing camera as well, so you can kind of set that up. So all in all, that little bit's quite cool. And then down here, again, I don't know how, I've got lots of reflections going on, but I've got my climate control. But then if I switch to driving mode, you can see that all the buttons basically retask. And I've got Eco, Sport and Normal, clearly hire car setting, I'll put that on Sport. And then you've got some other things. So this car has an awful lot in common with an F-Type Jaguar, because if I put driving information on there, it has a G meter just like the F-Type did that I reviewed very recently. So good amount of tech, all works really, really well. Very easy to use without having to read a manual. So I'm going to give it a score of 9 out of 10. Let's talk comfort and driving position, and this car is a comfy place to be. I've done 2 very long journeys in it, one of 5 hours and one of just shy of 5 hours without a stop, and I didn't get a numb bum, so that's always good. So the seats are quite comfy, driving position's nice, there's no adjustment on the steering wheel, which I would like. I normally like the steering wheel a little bit closer to me, but yeah, no, for comfort and driving position, pretty good. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. What about practicality then? Well, first things first, if we open the boot, it doesn't look like a very big boot, and in this configuration it's not really, but it does have this quite trick double floor, so you can basically put some shopping under there, I guess, and then load up with extra space on there. Or if you want a bigger boot, you can basically just take this parcel shelf and slide it down the back there, and then you've got a bigger boot. So that's okay, although the boot isn't massive for a kind of crossover sized car. You'd expect it to be a bit bigger. Then you open the door here, bizarrely. Then again, it's only a small hatchback, I guess, so not a massive amount of leg room. I've got my seat all the way back, but not too bad. And then in the front, plenty of room, lots of sort of cubby holes to put stuff and place stuff. So practicality wise, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. From a driving performance point of view, it's not bad. I've had it in sport mode for the whole time I've had it. It does have an eco setting which just deadens things off a little bit, but I guess provides better fuel economy. But in sport mode, driving it like a hire car, I've still averaged about 50 miles to the gallon in the 600 or 700 miles I've done, which is pretty good. It's quite a punchy little diesel unit in this car, and from a just normal driving, then that provides good grins. I love the gear change, really nice gear change. So, you know, just driving on your own on a B road or certainly on the motorway, it performed really well on the motorway, cruising away. Where it lacks a little bit is the kind of mid-range grunt that you need to do some overtaking. So you kind of do have to plan your overtakes a little bit. So that kind of, for me, just dulls it a little bit. But then again, this isn't a performance car, but it is a good fun car to drive. So what about acceleration then? So here we go, acceleration. Come on, baby, come on. Oh, come on, she's struggling. Come on, and 60. I didn't expect that to be brilliant, but let's see what the time is. Not bad, not bad, not great, but not bad. I guess this isn't a high performance car, it's a kind of urban crossover, so that was the kind of acceleration I'd expect, really. But that's not what this car's about. This car's about, it's good fun to drive. It feels great, it's sporty, handling's pretty good, to be fair. As I said before, though, the bit where it lacks for me is just that mid-range overtaking acceleration. I had a couple of moments in the time with the car where I've been wanting to overtake something and just not had the grunt to do that. So because of that, and only because of that, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. So there we have it then. One of the more interesting cars I've had on Hire Car Hit or Miss so far. I think you either love it or hate it. There's elements of this car I really enjoy. It's a hoot to drive. I really enjoyed driving it. I think it's better on the inside than the outside, but good amount of tech, nice and comfy. So I've totted up the totals and we've got a grand total of 39 out of 50, which is a pretty good score. It's not the best score I've had yet, but very close. And I don't think it would need to improve in too many areas to kind of beat that. So not a bad effort indeed. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. These are just a little bit of fun, really. If you have, give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome. And don't forget, please subscribe to Petrol to keep up to date with all my upcoming stuff. So anyway, I'm going to sign off there. You take care, guys. Drive safe.